So finally, Frank, I just wondered if you had any final thoughts then on CBT supervision. If we kind of think back to basics, really, which is, you know, that essential focus on the thought process as such, you know, if that's the first thing that I associate with CBT, it's focus on thinking.
Yes. I suppose I think I'd like to conclude by making a plea for creative and flexible CBT, actually. I'm a little bit worried, you know, that apparently CBT is the most practiced form of therapy in the world now, as someone's announced recently after doing some research on the matter. But I think there's sometimes a confusion about the way it's been implemented in organizations, you know, which tends to be very structured and, you know, protocol driven and so forth. But that wasn't written into the life and soul of the therapy. And I sometimes worry that people are getting confused about that. And because a lot of the training now is directed towards that, I'm a bit worried that, you know, a more flexible form of the therapy will be lost, to be honest. So if we take that example that you've given, you know, about training on the thought, it reminds me of something that did happen to me, which I think you'll find interesting. But so I had a 6-year-old boy referred to me, and this was via the courts. I think he was 7 in actual fact. And I was given the brief to do cognitive therapy for PTSD with him. He'd been involved in a road traffic accident. And I, you know, I thought, what on earth am I gonna do with this? And I thought, well, let's just meet him first and just see what he's like. And he came with his dad, and he was a lovely little boy. And I suddenly thought, well, yeah, you know, when I worked previously in a child guidance service, and I did quite a lot of play therapy in there, and I thought, yeah, that's a really good way of communicating with kids. And he'll probably tell me what he thinks and what he feels via the medium of play, which he did. And then, so I said to him after the first session, you know, just bring along some toys with you next time. And lo and behold, his father was a taxi driver, and he brought, and it turned out they were car nuts. The whole family were nuts about cars. And he bought one of those little maps, you know, it's like with a layout of a town where you can drive a car through it, kind of thing. And he started, you know, so we got down on the floor and we were talking this, and he started talking about the accident, you know, in the context that we had like a zebra crossing, and, you know, or you can cross safely, that you wouldn't get run over. And it was like, you know, yeah, it was brilliant. And I was really guessing what he actually thought about it. And later on, because one of the problems was that he developed a very dysfunctional way of crossing roads. As he was so frightened, he used to just run as fast as he could across the road, and he wasn't looking properly. So we went out on the street, him, his dad, and me, you know, walking around the streets a bit, and eventually we got to the stage where we came to a zebra crossing. We were going to you know, cross it, and as we were about to walk across the road, you know, the zebra crossing, I noticed he was hiding behind the Belisha beacon pole, and I said to him, "Oh, what are you standing like that for?" And he said, "Well, the car might jump off the road and hit me, you know." So there we are, we're right into his, you know, beliefs. And yeah, so, you know, you don't have to sort of do that kind of work in a very, very, you know, hidebound way, which wouldn't have cut any ice whatsoever with a 7-year-old. So, but I think, you know,
there's something about being open to letting it come out almost.
Yeah, in that case, I mean, I'm not advocating that you should do that sort of thing in all the time, but I'm saying that the essential thing is that you look at what people are thinking, what they're feeling, and what they're behaving. And there's just, you know, it doesn't mean to say you have to have a sort of an assessment, of every single thought they have, and go through thought records on here and everything. There's many ways of doing things, basically.
Yes, many paths to the center of the thought forest.
I guess so. That seems a good point to maybe
Okay,
conclude.
let's stop there. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. I do hope it'll be helpful to your students.